Hey Creagears, Roboy here, and welcome back to this brand new project. Before we start with the video, we wanted to give a little apology that it's been so long since our last video. But we do believe that the next few videos will show you why it's been a little while. First one of which will be this Return of the Mammalians inspired Big Man MEGAmiibo. Yep, MEGAmiibo. MEGAmiibo. This will be one of those parts of the projects we've been developing for the past few weeks, the MEGAmiibo bases. These are special amiibo bases with more than double the surface area. This way we can make even bigger amiibo projects than ever before. Believe me, I would have loved to have made these statues on some regular amiibo bases, but as you'll see in the rest of the video, this would have never been possible on the regular 5 cm wide amiibo bases. So now we can make even bigger statues of stuff like the Octobot King L3GS, Mr. Grizz, etc. Since with the next few amiibos I want to reference each of the deep cut boss battles from the Hero Mode campaign. So for Big Man I wanted to make something with his special kind of ink and the wooden floor that they used for the arena. And those elements will then support both him with his mask on and his shadow jumping out from the ink behind him. At least that's the plan. Actually, for this project we don't have anything to sculpt yet. Haha, very funny. But for this project we first have to do some 3D printing. For both Big Man himself, when the printer doesn't fail on me, and the whole crux of the project, the shadow printed with a transparent resin. But since this has to be printed first, we can already get started on the decorations on the MEGAmiibo base. So with the base cast, we go and apply the planks for the flooring with some wooden coffee stirring sticks. And so, using superglue and the accelerator, we place each of the planks down one by one. Just like this. Said that I don't use a herringbone pattern for the floor. Wow, tough audience. Anyway, after we get the final pieces glued to finish the circle, the print was also ready. So before anything else, we have to do some cleaning on the figure. Using a tub of soapy water, we both clean the figure and warm the resin to more easily be able to remove the supports that were required for printing. After all the supports were removed, and he had a quick wash, we cleaned the rest of the leftover resin with some isopropyl alcohol and cure the final bits of resin in a UV curing chamber. While all of that's spinning, we can take the wooden flooring and after a little bit of sanding around the edges to make it a little bit smoother, we can see one of the few times where I can actually use wood stain in one of my projects. This will give the flooring a nice warm brown shade, matching the one in game. Although, I would have loved to have it a little bit lighter, but the wood stain soaks into the stirring sticks so quickly that I take it off with a towel, so I guess it's gonna be like that. But as soon as that was dry, I took some masking tape over the wooden floor to protect it, while I went and added a dark grey color to the MEGAmiibo base itself, to color it like the rest of my amiibo bases. With both the floor and the 3D printed, sanded and ready, it was time for some painting. Using my airbrush, I'm able to apply a clean coat of dark grey over the whole of Big Man's body. And it also saves a little bit of time in comparison to if we had to do this with a brush. This airbrush will then also allow me to add this transparent turquoise paint that I mixed from my transparent green and blue paints. Without the airbrush, you would see all kinds of brush strokes in the paint, since it's officially made to exaggerate the unevenness in a surface. But by using an airbrush, I can get a clean, even finish that's going to color the shadow, but still allow it to be transparent. With those colors applied, I can super glue the base of the shadow to the back of the amiibo. Because with it in place, we can finally grab some epoxy clay and use it to make the splash of ink that the shadow will be jumping out from. I first cover the edges of the shadow with the clay and make it slope down towards the wooden floor. And also drip down on the back. Once I get this clean transition, I then work my way back to the top of the clay and start to add these little sheets of clay. These we then smooth onto the rest of the wave by making sure to only push the clay vertically to make the wave naturally face upwards. Once I've done this on both the edge of the shadow and also on the top of the base, we then use the same ball tool and make the waves curve out a bit. All the while making sure that we don't get any clay on the rest of the shadow or the floor, since the black epoxy clay can stain really bad if not treated immediately. And since we had a little bit more clay left over than I had originally thought, we can extend the waves a bit more outwards towards the top and the bottom. That combined with these little blobs of ink placed further away from the splash, this will all make a nice effect on the figure. After all of that has had a chance to dry, we can finally start the hand painting process by applying the primer onto the ink. It's best to have a white base if you don't want to be painting on 5 different layers or something. Luckily, the grey markings on Big Man only took us 2 layers to get the perfect coverage. Going from the back along the wing to the tips of his fingers? Wait, Big Man doesn't have any fingers. To the tips of his wings then. But we're not done with the light grey yet, since it's still required for both the patterns on the inside of his wings, his belly, and lastly the patterns on his feet. Then I used the mummy's ropes combined with a white to color in the base of his crown. While that dries, we've also applied a dragon's red for his mouth, which is a darker shade of red, and then a bright red for his tongue, to make it stand out just a little bit more. The same bright red is then also used for the markings on his crown, just as soon as the bone color is dry. I really have no patience. Not only that, but this red is also required for the rope that goes around his head. Then it was finally time for the mask, with a regular brown base painted on first. This is then followed up with a dry brushing of 2 lighter shades of brown to get that open wood effect onto the mask. Next is a black base for all of the gold pieces. And after some final touches with some orange tips on the rope, wait, what is that clip doing here? We've let it black dry enough to apply the gold to the horns. the teeth, and the eyes.
I love gold!
While the last colors on Big Man dry, I've been carefully dry brushing the turquoise color onto the ink. After this, I've also hand painted on the green swirls within the ink, and lastly the greenish yellow deep cut logos, which was a pain in the ass to do. With the amount of logos on this one, I mean, not only this one, each of their ink has their deep cut logos on it. Ugh. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. But I think me from the workshop can voice it the best. Man, it was a lot of work getting all of those deep cut logos on, but we did it. Let's get to peeling. Then finally, we've only got this gloss varnish left on the shadow and the ink, and also a matte varnish layer on Big Man. To not have him too glossy, but the matte varnish we used is still a bit reflective. So this will leave him with a bit of a shine to him, but not too shiny. And so, with all of the two pieces coated, all that's left to do is to glue Big Man to the base with his tail in this very specific spot that I had left into the clay for him. And with that, the first of our Return of the Mammalians MEGAmiibo series, the Hype Manta Storm MEGAmiibo, is finished. Hey Creagears, Roboy here, and we hope you enjoyed the video. We know it's been a little long since we've last posted a new video, so we hope we've made it up to you guys with the reveal of our Return of the Mammalians MEGAmiibo series. But even with a little while without a video, you guys have still been subscribing to the channel, which has made it so that we're actually getting really close to 3,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for that. So please, if you're new or have been following us for a while and just have not subscribed yet for some reason, please consider subscribing to the channel. We would really appreciate it. But now that we've officially revealed our MEGAmiibo bases, do you guys have any other big Splatoon or even just Nintendo characters in mind that you would love to see on one of these way too big Amiibo bases? Leave your suggestions in the comments. Also, one final short thing. I promise this is the last one. We're going to be attending Breeze LAN in Manchester, England this November. We even have our own table at the Artist Alley. So, if you're also going, please don't forget to come and say hi. We might even have some fun merchandise there that you would like. And it's also the perfect place to commission us for a custom Amiibo. But that's finally going to be all from us for now. Keep those creative gears turning. And we're going to see you guys in the next Return of the Mammalians MEGAmiibo video.